Using our 19mm socket, let's go ahead and remove our lug nuts. Remove our wheel, set that aside. Onto the center of the front of the car, we have an engine splash shield here. We're going to go ahead and use our trim tool, remove some of the plastic buttons holding one side of this in place. And on this side over here, there's a 10mm bolt up here, and there's a 10mm bolt on the front. Let's go ahead and remove those. I'm going to go ahead and use a trim tool to remove this plastic button right here. You can use a pick to get inside. We want to pop out that center. Right up underneath here, there's another plastic button securing the back section. I want to go ahead and do the same in the back. Once that button's out, you can tuck this down and out of the way. Inside the driver's side wheel well, there's a plastic button right here. Let's go ahead and pop that out. Across the front, we're going to go ahead and remove all of our plastic push pins supporting the shield. Ours was damaged and we received it with some components missing already. Use a trim tool to go ahead and remove the center and pull the pin. Continue across the front. And there's one buried up underneath here. And this one more. Now once you have your vehicle supported up on jack stands, you now want to go ahead and grab your regular jack, and you want to come to the back portion of the cradle right here. What we're going to do is we're going to remove these two bolts on this side here and two on the other side. We want to go ahead and support this because we'll be removing the bolts that are holding it. Just going to jack this up just to support for now. Now on these two bolts here, we're going to go ahead and remove this bolt here, and we're going to loosen this bolt and slide this bracket out. You want to go ahead and repeat for the other side. Using our 14mm swivel socket and extension, we're going to go ahead and loosen these two bolts on this bracket. Let's go ahead and repeat for the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and disconnect our lower Swivel end link. Put our Allen in here. Now our Allen that we're using is a ball head because we can't get a straight on Allen into this here. So it has a ball head on it so we can get it at an angle, allowing us to go ahead and hold that stud while we remove this nut. I'm going to go ahead and repeat for the other side. Now for safety reasons, we are going to throw another jack underneath our front cradle. If you only have one jack, that's totally fine. An extra jack stand will be sufficient as well on the front section. And we're just going to jack this up just so it's just rubbing, but not locked in place. Now on the front side of the cradle, you have a large bolt right here with a little cross member. We're going to go ahead and loosen this. We're going to do the same for the other side. Now that those bolts loosened, our jack here is now snug. We're going to go ahead and Lower this down just a tiny bit, just so that it has a little bit of slack. And let's move back to the back section. Now with the front of the cradle loosened, we can now go ahead and lower our rear jack. This is allowing for us to get a little bit more room between the body of the vehicle and this back bolt holding this sway bar. Now on the back side here, with this separator, you can go ahead and remove your bushing. Now on our cradle section here, we're gonna use a medium-sized pry bar. We're gonna go between the subframe here and the body of the vehicle. And we're just gonna gently pry this down. When doing this, it's gonna allow us to get a ratchet and socket around the back side of the subframe horn here and get this back bolt out. Gonna remove that bolt. We'll go ahead and get our forward mounted bolt right here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and repeat for the other side. Now we can go ahead and lift our sway bar. Go ahead and work our bushing off this unit. There's a bracket that sits on the top. We're gonna pop that off first. Set that aside. And our bushing is split. And the split is facing the rear of the vehicle. Just lift up that sway bar. Go ahead and work that bushing off. Go ahead and inspect your sway bar. Look for any major rust or corrosion, anything like that, that could potentially cause that bar to break. Ours looked really good. So we're gonna take our new bushing. We did put a light film of grease on the inside of the rubber. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, slide this on. Once it's in position, I'm gonna go ahead and install our bracket over the top. I'm gonna go ahead and get our forward mounted bolt through that bracket, and we'll just have to position our sway bar in place here. And we'll go ahead and get these threads started. So we have our front bolt just caught a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and put our ratchet on here. And we're just gonna zip that in a few threads. Not gonna tighten it yet. I'm gonna line up our back bolt here. Get that lined up and get that started a few threads. Now we did put some anti-seize compound on those threads. This one is caught as well. So now we can go ahead and tighten these down. And then once these are tightened down, we're gonna go ahead and go do the other side. Now when doing our final tightening on this back one here, I'm gonna come around to the back side. Let's go ahead and tighten down our front one a little more. And repeat for the driver's side. Go ahead and install your body bushing right here. Pop that into place. I'm gonna go ahead and use our jack. I'm gonna go ahead and slowly raise this up. Let's go ahead and tighten down our front subframe bolts here. I'm gonna go ahead and lower our rear jack. We're going to reposition this forward. I'm going to jack this back up a little bit. At this point here, we should be able to line up our bracket. Let's go ahead and tighten these bolts down. Repeat for the other side. Let's go ahead and tighten down our bolt right here. Let's go ahead and repeat for the other side. Go ahead and get our end link lined up. Get that nut started. Before we tighten this down, we're going to go ahead and get the other side installed, and then we'll tighten down these nuts. And snug this down. And repeat for the other side. Now this bolt here, or this nut for your sway bar end link, needs to be torqued at 22 foot-pounds if you have the ability to do so. We're just going to go ahead and tighten ours up. Let's get torque down our bolts here to our side bracket to 36 foot-pounds. Now this large bolt here needs to be torqued to 76 foot-pounds. According to Acura, it is suggested that these bolts are replaced. Same for the front bolt. Go ahead and torque our front bolts to 76 foot-pounds. And our shorter bolt here should be torqued to 40 foot-pounds. Repeat for the other side. Let's go ahead and remove our support stands here. Go ahead and install our belly pan here. And get one of our bolts started here. And we have our plastic push pins. Pop these up into place. Install our rearward bolt on the back here. And then once we get these in a few threads, we'll go ahead and tighten them down. I'm going to go ahead and install some of our plastic push pins here. Go ahead and install your wheel. Get our lug nuts all started by hand, and then we'll go ahead and snug these down. Let's go ahead and torque our wheel down to 80 foot-pounds. Now repeat for the other side.